So today I want to talk about motivation and the biggest pitfall that I see when it comes to motivation, and that is that we simply don't usually know the real reasons that we do things. When I work with clients during the first session, I'm trying to figure out what's motivating them in life and what's motivating them to make changes. Now, when I ask them this, usually at the beginning of the session, I get an answer that differs significantly from the answer that I've elicited by the end of the session. And that's because in between, I'm asking a lot of very directed questions designed to elicit the real reasons why they do the things that they do. Now, here's why there's a huge gap between the two usually. We don't know our motivations because our motivations are largely emotional, and they happen in parts of our brains that are older and more primitive than the newer parts, which are more logical. Now, the older parts are not only more emotional, they're also more unconscious. So we're not even aware of what they're doing versus the newer parts, which are conscious. And the older parts are parts that we share with animals, and they're often very instinctual. They might be more base and animalistic motivations versus the newer parts that are more, you could say, spiritual and noble. And we often are, so basically, we're not even aware necessarily of why we're doing what we're doing. And if we are, a lot of times our rational parts of our brain don't really want to admit that we're doing the things that we do for the reasons that we are, because they seem kind of base or non-spiritual or non-noble, whatever. Here's the problem with that. You're not going to do things unless you are truly motivated to do it. I mean, like truly motivated. When you get home from work, you're tired, and being tired is a real emotional motivation. If you've ever seen an animal that's been very active all day, they're going to rest a lot because that's a very animalistic, primitive, emotional motivation. If your motivation for getting to the gym, instead of sitting on the couch after work, if your motivation is a weak one, or a dishonest one, like I want to be healthy, or my doctor told me I need to, no one ever did anything based on those. But if you get in touch with your real motivation, the real deep motivation, the real reason you want to look better, maybe feel better, who knows, it could be because it could be for reasons that aren't very noble. Like maybe you want more likes on social media, or you want to, you've always been jealous of your sister and you want to show her up. You will actually get off the couch and go to the gym if you're in touch with your actual motivations. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's always possible without some help. But when you find out your true motivation, you will do anything you can to get there.